He's like, oh boy.
I'm ready.
Ooh, sorry about that.
Oh, like a firework.
My mouse decided to die on me here.
No, it's moving.
I know. Tom.
Tom is totally judging you right now.
I can't,
Can you see it?
I can't see it from,
Yeah, it's
it's not, what is it?
jumping around there for you.
Well, now I'm on the touchpad. I'm so sorry, everyone.
Encryption is on.
What is,
If you could read that, you don't need glasses.
I can read that, but are you looking for the icons in the upper right?
I'm looking to start the recording, that's all I was
Right,
trying.
but where's that icon?
It should be right here.
Is it green?
No, where did it go? It was there. I had-
Brandon. Brandon, here it comes, right here.
Here, hold on. Is
He's
it there?
here.
I can't pull it over with just a touchpad. It's not.
Tell you what, when the grid goes down,
Here we go, sorry, I got it, I'm sorry. everyone.
That is so true. That is so true.
and it's gonna happen.
Are we ready? No.
What happened? No, it's
Or
not.
yellow.
Is it recording? It's not showing me.
It is, you gotta edit that out.
I'm so sorry.
No, you're good.
I'm really sorry.
I don't know if it's recording.
Edit all that bad stuff out.
Did you start the meeting, or did you?
I
No,
started the
I'm
meeting
waiting
and then
for the recording.
I paused it. I started the Zoom meeting and then I paused it and I went to start the, restart the recording and now usually it says it's recording and it didn't do that. It should be right there, but it's not.
And we lost
there.
everybody. We lost our Zoom feed.
It's
No,
right
it's-
here,
it's
it's
right
right here. It's
Oh,
right here.
okay, so
No, I
there
pulled
you
it
go.
over so I could see what was, I wasn't trying to.
Well, I'll have a recording for you. I've got a recording.
That's
so-
Friday. Get on the
They've been
plane and
getting a
take
lot
off
better.
for-
I don't see
They had a lunar
Were
one
you
the other
flying out
day
of
that was
Toronto?
amazing.
No, Detroit.
Pictures from
Cause
Mars.
I credit with Delta.
That's the aurora. I'd love to.
Flight
Actually, I'm going to Iceland,
that?
Mark,
So,
Video?
I had
Not
to
video.
get out.
We don't want to do any of that.
to see the aurora.
Once in a while, you see down here.
Yeah. Well,
few
I was up to, Mackinac State Parade, and I walked to the other side through the woods
I wanna go back, but
and watched
not
it.
as regularly as you do.
It's
I
real
like to travel with you.
But up in
Oh,
Iceland,
you
we're
know,
gonna
I
be
have
sitting
places
under
to
that.
hang out, things
Zoom's
like
up,
that.
so I'm sorry, everyone.
People I talk to.
I could see that would be a go-to place.
Are we recording?
Yeah.
At least the center
We've been
part
recording.
where
All
I
right,
know
we
my
can
way
edit.
around, I don't need.
Good evening, everyone. It is now 6:33 p.m. I'd like to call to order the Fenton Township Board meeting on this Tuesday, the 19th day of May, 2026. I ask everyone to please stand for the opening prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance. Trustee Gopal, will you please lead us?
Yes, sir, thank you. Heavenly Father, bless us as we gather here tonight. Help us nurture the bonds of our community. Guide us to make decisions in the best interest of the township and its residents. We pray for an end to the conflicts in the world today. Continue to look over and bless our community and country. And we ask these things in your most holy name. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As always, thanks, Mark. Clerk Crew, will you please call the roll?
Lorraine,
Present.
Reed is absent. Clark is absent. Krug is present. Kessler,
Here.
Gopal,
here.
Tucker,
Present.
you have a quorum.
All right, thanks, Bob. I'd also like to know for the record that our attorney, Township Attorney Jack Belzer is here. Our Operations Manager Tom Broker is sitting out. We also have our Assistant Manager Megan Gito is sitting up here with us tonight. Additionally, yes, that's it. Additionally, we have our Township Engineers, Alan and Melissa Lawrence from Lawrence Engineering. Megan, will you detail the procedures for those who are attending tonight's virtual meeting?
Sure. To the members of the public attending tonight's meeting in person or via Zoom, please be advised that the meeting is being recorded to be shown on public access television, Spectrum Channel 191. Recorded meetings are also posted on the Fenton Area Community Television YouTube channel. For those attending via Zoom, we ask that you keep your microphone muted until we reach the portions of the meeting where public comment is allowed. For tonight's meeting, there are no public hearings, therefore all public comment will be taken near the end of the meeting. Meeting materials are available for download at the Township's website at fentontownship.org.
Thanks, Megan, I appreciate that. All right, moving on to the first business order is approval of the agenda. Are there any requests to amend tonight's agenda? Hearing none, a motion is in order to approve the agenda as presented.
Support motion to approve.
Second.
Motion's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Clerk Crew, will you please call the roll?
I vote yes, Clark is absent, Kessler,
Yes.
Reed is absent, Gopal,
Yes.
Tucker,
Yes.
Lorraine,
Yes.
motion passes.
All right, thanks, Bob. All right, moving on to the next meeting. Well, the agenda stands approved, bless you, approved as presented. The next business order is meeting minutes. Included in the packet are the meeting minutes of the May 5th regular meeting. Are there any corrections or requested revisions to these meeting minutes? Hearing none, the meeting minutes stand approved as presented. Moving on to expenditures. Are there any questions from the board tonight for Megan? She has memorized verbatim all expenses and can answer any questions.
Get her, John.
Maybe not a question for Megan, but we had talked about the Granicus bill.
Yes.
I've not gotten an updated quote yet, but we had talked about removing the hotline from the quote. I don't know if that made it to the packet that way or not, or
Megan, did that make it to the packet?
I didn't talk to
I thought
Megan
we
about
were
it, so
gonna
she may
wait.
not.
I
Did
did
that
not,
make
I
it?
was unaware.
I don't know,
Short-term rental compliant, hotline's on there, yeah,
Yeah,
it's on the,
right,
it's on
so-
the invoice.
Right, so we had discussed that it's probably in the best interest to remove the hotlines. We only have 2 short-term rentals at this point in time. One is
Correct.
permitted, one is special use. So obviously, we're not getting complaints about short-term rentals, right? That was the reason why we had the 24-hour hotline to begin with. So moving forward, the monitoring software is important because it allows us to identify short-term rentals, but the hotline's probably not necessary.
Yes, we did discuss that. We were going to remove that, so.
I don't have an updated quote yet, but I think if you just remove that from there, we can move forward when the,
Is it going to affect the quote any other way outside of just removing that one light item?
No.
Then I think we can keep it in, just
Okay.
making a note that we could remove that and authorize them to pay the reduced amount.
Repay the reduced amount, okay, so the new total would be,
I was just gonna ask.
$497,045.48.
That was a big savings.
Can somebody
Yeah.
tell me,
It was $1,694 was the,
I was switching the
Oh,
subject.
you're doing something
so,
else, sorry.
Yeah, I thought you were wrapped up.
but,
Go ahead.
Can one of the two of you tell me the story behind the new network switch?
we went out.
That will be Tom.
State your name.
And your
So
address.
a week ago Friday, half our network was down. Did some diagnosis over the phone with Centerra's, determined it was a bad switch. And so Centerra said they had one on the shelf, they could be there Monday morning to install it. Vince okayed the emergency purchase, we got it done. We were back up and running about 9:45 Monday morning.
Okay.
half the computers in the office couldn't connect.
You couldn't, yeah, you couldn't get on the network at all.
Just the loss of productivity.
Well, I understand that. I've got 4 switches at work. When that goes out, that's imminently obvious what the problem is. I'm just trying to understand why we got $1,164.75 of charges to figure out that that's what the problem is. And if they had a switch sitting around on the shelf, that's fine. So I was gonna price it. I didn't have time to do that. But if it was a scenario where we felt it was an emergency and it got approved at that number, then I'll just shut my mouth, but,
I didn't have a choice. We had to move. We couldn't
Well-
come in and do any type of quotes. We needed to get everybody back up on and run, so.
And it did take a while to figure out it was the switch. We didn't, because the switches we had were not smart switches, they were not even manageable switches, so they couldn't read them. And then we actually went through several other things before that was determined. That was a switch
yeah, but
problem.
if you got 50% of your computers out,
Well, actually, initially, they were all out,
yeah,
because one of the dead ports on the switch was the one to the firewall. So everyone was out for the first couple hours. And then once we figured out it was a switch problem, we reconnected the firewall to a good port, which then brought about half the staff back up.
I didn't understand the emergency nature of the situation. I obviously would probably do it a little differently if it wasn't an emergency, but I'll cease commenting at this point.
All right, thanks, Tom. All All right, any other questions for Megan regarding expenses? All right, Megan, I'm gonna have you read the number when I get there. Okay, I will entertain a motion regarding the payment of expenditures totaling.
$497,045.48.
I will move approval of the expenditures as submitted.
Second. All right, motion's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Clerk Krug, will you please call the roll?
Reed is absent. Gopel?
Yes.
Tucker?
Yes.
Kessler?
Yes.
Rain?
Yes.
I vote yes. Clark is absent. Motion passes.
Thanks, Bob. As Megan said, there's no public hearings tonight. We're gonna move on to reports. Tonight, we have a special election report. Our clerk, Krug, let's kind of go over that, if you don't mind. The May 5th special election.
Well, I will be honest, the special election went very well. The problem that I personally had with it, we went through the struggle to combine two precincts together so we could eliminate some workers and save them money. And then all day from, well, we get there at 6 in the morning, so the polls were open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. We had a grand total of 111 people. Very frustrating. The people did great. We definitely weren't deluged, but I'll use it myself, it's very frustrating to try to stay really involved when you're averaging 5 an hour.
Oh, stay awake. Forget
Yeah.
about involved.
Yeah, I was gonna say, getting involved, I'd be sleeping.
But,
How did it, what was the results?
what was it, passed by,
No, it failed.
So we had, Bob was exactly right, 111 people voted in person. I think we had 740 absentees, which worked out to a turnout of about just under 17%, which is unfortunately kind of typical for a school proposal. In the township, I believe it did pass among township voters, but only by 20 or 30 votes maybe. And it only failed district-wide by less than 100 votes. So, but it was a low turnout, and you know, the old thought that a standalone election was a better way to get them passed just doesn't really work anymore.
have we heard, Tom, if they're gonna go in August again?
It's already too late for August.
Okay,
They could try in November. Megan and I have a FACT consortium meeting, which I believe the Linden superintendent will be at this week, so we'll try to find out if they are, but I mean, we already have elections planned for August and November,
Yeah.
so one proposal either way isn't gonna make a difference.
Any other questions for Krug regarding that special election? Hearing none, we'll move on. We do have a zoning administrator report. This is the April 2026.
Give you some quick highlights here. The first planning commission meeting in April, the planning commission reviewed a preliminary site plan for a gas station on the north side of Thompson Road, west of US 23. At the second meeting in April, we had a little bit of discussion on that. That was our 4.5 hour meeting where we discussed the town center overlay, which the intent of the overlay was to restrict uses that would be permitted in the areas identified for town center in the master plan. Planning Commission also reviewed some draft zoning amendments, including for lot coverage and setbacks. You've had some residents express concern about minimum 5-foot setback for residential structures on narrow lots. Planning Commission has been looking at that. In conjunction with that, they've also been looking at lot coverage, how that's calculated, what should be calculated as part of that. Planning Commission began their review of reviewing amendment to the zoning ordinance to regulate data centers, right? You guys passed a moratorium for up to 12 months on that, and part of that was with the town, to give the township time to develop an ordinance. So the Planning Commission is in the process of doing that. They also reviewed zoning ordinance amendment to provide additional regulations for event barns. That was an introduction. And again, for the report, you have all the public comments that were received for all those topics we just discussed. Zoning board, right, we had 4 items on the agenda. There's nothing really of note, your typical sight lines and garage reviews. The April Parks and Rec Board talked about geese mitigation, and I think we'll talk some more about that later tonight. I think one of the big things that came out of that was the beginning of discussion of budgeting for Parks and Recreation in the township, what that should look like, what that could look like. So you'll be hearing more about that in the future. And that's pretty much a summary of what went on in April. We'll have more for you for this month.
Any questions for Mike regarding his zoning administrator report?
Mike has been a busy boy.
Yes. Thanks, Mike. Yep. All right. Are there any committee reports to be made to the board this evening? Hearing none, we'll move on to communications. We have none this evening. Adoption of ordinances. Also, nothing on the agenda. Unfinished business, none. Moving on to new business. This is the updated Fenton Township Employee Handbook. I'm sure we've all reviewed the memo in the packet and the red line version that was in your packet. I know that our township attorney had requested some our law firm to review a few items, and I think those were also in the those are also in the packet under a green line. Tom, Megan, is there anything else you'd like to add to that?
There was no major changes to, it was just an update.
Well, in the business world, in my company, every 2 years, we did it just for safety reasons, because laws change, legislatures change things, everything else. So here at the township, it wasn't being done quite that often, so Tom and I had a conversation, and we're going to start moving it so it's at least reviewed every 2 or 3 years to make sure that we're in compliance, that our employees are protected, that we're protected as a township. So we're just kind of taking a different, looking at our handbook a little more often than we have in the past. So is there any other questions or concerns?
After the attorney brought up his concerns, were the revisions brought back to him? And
Well, yeah,
Yes.
Nancy Shinones and I communicated several times, talked back and forth, yes.
And Nancy, that's what she does for a living.
absolutely, no, I
Yeah.
just want
So-
to make sure that
Yep.
whatever was brought
Oh,
up.
yeah, we had several discussions, yes.
Yeah.
This is version, yeah.
It's like constitutional law, that if you go down that's what you do for a living, and that's what she does, and she's really good, so. Okay, any other questions? Okay, a motion is in order to, regarding the adoption of the 2026 Fenton Township Employee Handbook as presented with an effective date of June 1st, 2026.
So a motion to approve.
Second. Motion's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Clerk Krug, will you please call the roll?
Yes, Clark is absent. Kessler,
Yes.
I vote yes. Gopal,
Yes.
Tucker,
Yes.
Lorraine,
Yes.
Reed is absent. Motion passes.
All right, thanks, Bob. All right, next under new business is the alternative geese abatement option for Manitowoc Beach Park, our park right behind here. As you know, there was a recommendation brought to us to mitigate geese and keep our beach free of E. coli or anything else that could be put into our beach for all our residents. And Tom, who was it that came and did the presentation, or made the recommendation, right? For the last one.
Southern Lakes.
It was Southern Lakes Park and Rec, that's right.
The Parks and Rec Advisory Board.
Yeah.
All right,
Tyler brought it to our Parks and Rec committee as far as what we're voting on tonight.
okay.
It was just it's basically 2 flashing yellow lights that apparently disrupt
Or sleep patterns.
and cycle of a Canada goose. So, and it said like their own study shows a 97% success rate, and 2 at $434 each, so it's under $1,000. Instead of doing the entire landscape thing or waiting for the proposal from the landscape to come back, and we could see, if we got less than $1,000 invested and it works.
Well, I don't have it in front of me, and I was gonna grab it, but our meeting ran over. Do you know what the other proposal was? Well, you probably would remember, if it came from Parks
We
and
haven't
Rec.
got one yet.
We haven't gotten any proposals. We we went out for requests
Yeah.
for proposals.
Request for
yeah.
proposals,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Well, I know it's gonna be a lot more than $868, I can guarantee you that. You can't buy a bush for that
Well,
anymore.
we'll see how they work and if it, you know.
Yeah, there's, they have like a 6-month guarantee, you can return them if they don't work for you. And that number includes shipping and everything. They gave me a free quote and said we would need the 2 of them. And there is a photo of our lot here with where they recommend putting them. That's where the yellow pins are. So I reached out to someone, they got right back with me with a free quote, and that's where we're at.
Well, we can get through this whole season.
Yeah, yeah.
And
we'll
return
see.
them if it
And if it
doesn't work
doesn't work, yeah.
and revisit late next year, so. Any other questions or comments?
Well, the one thing I want to point out, and I understand this, but I personally have talked to the DNR because I happen to live on a nice lake in a nice house, and there's some asinine people out trying to run over geese and swans and running over their nests to control. The DNR, I'm giving you all a heads up, are going to have people on the lake watching for this activity because it's against the law to harass wildlife. Now, they do have a supposed permit to be able to shake the eggs while they're in the nest. But these people are doing it on jet skis and pontoons.
All right, any other questions or comments?
Nope.
Any other questions or comments? All right, a motion is ordered regarding expenditure of $868 towards geese abatement.
I'll support a motion to approve.
Second.
All right, motion's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Clerk Krug, will you please call the roll?
Yes, Gopel,
Yes.
Tucker,
Yes.
Lorraine.
Yes.
Clark is absent. Reed is absent. Kessler,
Yes.
and I vote yes. Motion passes.
Thanks, Bob. All right, next bit is orders board comment. Is there anyone on the board who has additional comments or concerns? If nothing else, we will move on to public comment on agenda or non-agenda items. I'll now open up the meeting for public comment on agenda or non-agenda items. Is there anyone present tonight that would like to address the board on agenda or non-agenda items? No one? No? Okay, and it doesn't look like, besides our engineers, we don't have anybody on Zoom tonight, so if there is no one on Zoom, we have no one in attendance that would like to address the thing. I want to thank everyone for joining us tonight, both in person and on Zoom, and it is now 6:53, 6:54 p.m. If there's nothing else, I say good night, the meeting's adjourned.
Good job.
No, I didn't even come close.
24 minutes.